So today's class is all about theory of colors or how we can use colors creatively in our photograph. So whenever we see or we discuss about colors, for a particular color, we have to think three parameters that we observe for a particular color. Those three parameters are, these are something like hue, saturation, and there is something called value. We normally use these things, we may not be familiar that much. So what are these three things? The first parameter, hue, is nothing but one particular identification of or name of the color. Let us say we call it, it's a red color or green color, so blue color. So these are nothing but hue, a name with which we call a color, or it is our impression about the color. We are familiar uh, with this of a particular color. Second thing that we discuss about the color, it is the actual value. So what is this value? It is nothing but the relative lightness or darkness of a particular color. What does it mean? Normally we say that I want a shirt of dark red color, right? This dark, like how much dark, is represented by a particular value of a color. It is nothing but a numeric representation, or we can say a mathematical representation of a particular color. Similarly, we say that I want a shirt of light green color. So this light is nothing but a particular numeric value of the color green. And the last thing about the color of a particular color that we discuss, it's called as saturation. So what does this parameter mean? Saturation means the purity of a color. Purity means, let us say we are having red and it is pure, mean nothing mixed in this particular color. So when we are discussing about mixing in this class of theory of color, we are discussing about mixing of normally three things or three color we can say. So first is something called white, second is something called black, and third is something called gray. Hope I am audible and my video is also clear. In case there is some issue, you can let me know in the chat box or in the group also. I am in monitoring. So let us say the color is pure, so nothing is mixed, and let us say the color is not pure. So not pure means something is mixed with it. So three things, out of those three things, the first thing, let us say we are mixing is white. So when we are mixing this white to a particular color, let us say red, then we get something called as tint, T-I-N-T. So tint means a particular, we are adding white to a red, and what we are getting, a specific tint of red color. So basically when we add white to a particular color, the color becomes lighter in nature. This lighter we normally call as a specific tint of red. Second thing that we are doing, we are mixing the color black to a specific color, let us say red. So then what we get a specific shade of a color, right? The color becomes dark and we call it a shade. Like if we are adding color black with color red, then we are getting a specific shade of red. And the last thing that we get, it is called as tone. So for tone, what is the thing that we are going to mix? We are going to mix the color gray. So after adding the color gray to a specific color, whether our color will become darker or lighter, that depends upon the shade of gray that we are adding. If the gray is darker, so there is a chance that the color will also become darker. If it is, the gray is not so dark, so it is there is a chance that the resultant color will be less darker. But the thing that we are getting, we will be calling it as tone. So let us say the color is not pure, we are adding something. When we are adding white, the color is becoming light and we are calling it as a tint of the particular color. When we are adding black, we are calling it a shade of a particular color, and when we are adding gray, we are calling it specific tone of a color. So these are the basic thing that we must consider when we are discussing about colors. Why? Like, color is a very colorful thing, and today's this class we are discussing about in a very monotonous order, and may not be interesting, a bit mathematical. These things are required because until we don't have a proper idea about what is color, how colors are represented, how colors are reproduced in the photograph that we are taking, or if we are doing some sort of post processing, if we want to add some color, if we want to subtract specific color, then we must know what is the meaning of color, how those things are represented. If we have specific idea and if we are clear about how those things are done, then only we will be in a position to manipulate those things. So the objective of this color is to make aware how colors are reproduced and how those parameters can be controlled so that you can produce exactly the color you want, not something towards the left hand side or right hand side or nearest to the color. No, exactly specific color you want to reproduce, you will be knowing the techniques and you will be producing the exact color that you want. So this was the basic definition about color. Now let us say it is our responsibility to generate or produce or recreate some specific color. Let us say you are posted to a particular company which is dealing with color, and you are in charge for whatever colors the company is regenerating or producing. So when we are generating colors, or when it is about the perceptions of color, there are two specific methods using which color are reproduced or generated. What are these two methods? First one, we call it as additive method or additive model of generating color. Second thing that we call it is as subtractive method of generating or reproducing color. We'll understand this. First one, the additive method, mainly used by all electronic devices and specifically these display devices. Let us say our monitor, our mobile. So here what happens, like, colors are represented in terms of light. For different types of color reproduction, they depends upon the type of light or different, what is called the range of color. We call it some nanometer. So with different types of light, they will be generating different types of colors. As for example, we are familiar with a specific color model called as RGB. So it is a type of additive color method. So in additive color method, what happens? Let us say a specific color is there, right? Red is there. So now red is manipulated with the help of lights. So if light is increased, so the red color will become lighter in nature. So pure red was there. Now light we are adding to it. So we are getting a lighter type of red we are getting, right? Whatever colors are there, if we mix all those colors in equal quantity, what we get white. All these things we are discussing for additive type of color generation, right? And the third thing, let us say there is no light at all. So what is the color we get? We get a color called as black. We can visualize this, like our mobile is there. So some specific color was there. Now we are increasing the brightness. So what we are getting? the color that earlier it was there, now the color is becoming brighter. All the colors we are adding in equal quantity, what we are getting? We are getting white. And there is no color at all. Let us say our monitor is switched off, our mobile is switched off. So in the display screen, what color we are getting? We are getting nothing but black. So this is the method. This is called as additive type of regeneration. How it is created on the basis of light. Like directly we are seeing the light. In case of monitor, in case of mobile, it is the light that we are seeing, and with the light only our perception about color is generated or is felt. What is the other method? The other method is called as subtractive method of generation of color. So what does this subtractive method is that it works on the basis of reflection of light that we see. Let us say some wall is there. So light is getting reflected from the wall. So whatever we are seeing, that is the perception of our color. Let us say there is some wall and there is no light in the room. So what we see? Nothing is reflected. So we get black, right? Nothing we see. So similarly, pure light is there. So that particular light we see. So this particular model works on the basis of reflection of light. What is the difference between this subtractive model that we are discussing and the earlier additive method that we discussed is that in case of subtracting method, if we are adding more color, then the color is becoming darker. It is very easy to understand. Let us say white wall is there. You added some specific coat of color. Now you are adding one more coat of color and one more coat of color. So normally what happens? The color that we see, it becomes darker. Fine. Second thing, when equal amount of colors we are adding, what the color that we are getting in this case, we are getting black. You try this, take some red, green and blue color, mix them in equal quantity. What you get a black color. And the last and not the least is that if there is no color at all, so what is the color we get in this method? We get white color. This is also very easy to understand. Let us say that wall that we are seeing, let us say white, but white means what? You have not any color to the wall. That is why it is white, right? So this is the two methods using which colors are generated or colors are reproduced. So two specific color models we will be discussing, right? So for that, I will be sharing my screen. So the first one is an example of additive generation of color, and it is also the method called as RGB, red, green and blue. And second one is an example of subtractive generation of color. It is also called as CMYK, cyan. M stands for magenta, Y stands for yellow, and K stands for black. And about these things, detail we have already discussed. Like in RGB methods, color are represented with three primary colors. These are red, green, and blue. And what is the definition of primary colors? Primary color is a color which cannot be generated from any other color. So for RGB methods or model, we are having three specific color, red, green, and blue. And for CMYK, those primary colors are cyan, yellow, magenta, and black. So depending upon the specific color model that we are following, our specific primary colors will vary. We can see that for RGB color, these specific or primary colors are secondary for the model CMYK. we'll be understanding about these things in detail. This is something called as color wheel. This we see normally when we are picking up any specific color from photo processing software like Photoshop or GIMP. We see this. What is the meaning of this? Let us say when primary colors are mixed in equal quantity, they produces secondary color like red and blue. When mixed with equal quantity, it produces magenta. Similarly, red and green mixed with equal quantity, it is producing yellow. So green and blue mixed in equal quantity, it is producing cyan. So color wheel is nothing but a representative image where how colors are generated from one color is represented, right? So all the time we cannot remember, like if this color is added to that particular color, then what is the color that we are going to get, right? We cannot remember. So for those type of situation, what is useful to us? It is the color wheel which is useful, right? So take some time to understand and visualize this color wheel, which is easy to understand depending upon the discussion we have so far. Now, all those things that we have discussed, so how we are representing a particular color? So in our real world, whatever colors that we are seeing, let us say we are following RGB color model. So a specific color will have a mix of red, green and blue, these three primary colors. And let us say for a specific color like red is represented with a value of 0 to 255. This value we have discussed earlier, right? So for a specific color, we'll have certain value for the red component, certain value for the blue component, and certain value for the green component. Like there is something called spring green. So in that, the amount of red is in the scale of 0 to 255 is 125. Similarly, G green, the amount of green for spring green is 255. It means green is completely saturated, whereas there is no yellow at all, right? So this is how color is represented. So let us say you want to reproduce a specific color, or you want to sample a specific color, and that color you are going to use in 10 specific documents. So obviously, if you take the help of color wheel like this is the color I want to select. So there is no guarantee that once you have selected here, in the next document like document number 3, you will be clicking here only. So what will happen? Your color mismatch will be there. So to avoid that type of scenario, what we can do, we can use this specific numeric value to represent it or select the specific color that we want. So this can be done with the help of our photo processing software. Whatever screen I am showing, it is from the software GIMP. But if you select Photoshop, there also you get specifically this screen only. So let us say here some sample I have taken. This particular tool is for selecting the foreground color and background color. So here this particular color is selected as foreground color. So what is the meaning of this particular color? If I click here, I get a value like this, like for RGB, for R, some specific value is there. Let us say this is 110. We are seeing it here. For green, it is 43.7. And for blue, it is something like 232. So if we feed to our photo processing software these specific numbers, then we get the exact color across the document. So this is the idea we must have. If we have this idea across the document with hundreds or millions of documents also, we will be able to produce the exact color that we wanted. Similarly, there is hex notation. This you can see HTML notation. It's a 6-digit number. So first 2 digit is corresponding to the color red, second 2 digit is corresponding to the color green, and last 2 digit is corresponding to the color blue. So in this way, you can represent color in a similar or concrete way and not approximately, right? So this is also one more example of the model RGB. Why we are discussing this? Let us say we want to add some specific color to a photo. Let us say this is our example photo. This is our example photo, and we want to add green to this particular photo. So how to do that? With the help of this document, we have seen that either we can add this green color directly, so amount of green seen in the photo will be increasing, or what we can do, we can select the opposite color of green. What is the opposite color of green here? Magenta. So we can decrease the color magenta from this image, that will in turn add or increase the amount of green in the specific image or document, right? So what was the objective? In this photo that we have, we want to increase the amount of green. So what we can do, either we can directly add the color green to this image, so amount of green will be added, or what we can do, the exactly opposite or complementary color we can select, which is magenta in this case, and we can reduce the magenta color here. So with this slider, we can just decrease the amount of magenta, which in turn will be increasing the color green in the photo, right? So this is the way we can do it. So there will be some specific cases like sky is there and I want to add blue to the image. So what I can do, I can directly add blue color to the sky, or what I can do, I can just take the slider and I can decrease the amount of yellow to the image, which in turn will increase the amount of blue in the sky that is there in the landscape. So this is how we have to manipulate colors accurately. And once we have discussed so many numerical things and mathematical things, now it is our turn to how to use this mathematical information or scientific information to compose photo in a beautiful way, or to manipulate color, or to add the creativity or the creative things in the photograph that we are taking. First thing that you can do, you can select a specific color palette, and in that specific color palette you can remain and you can just add the contrast, or you can add the value of a specific color. So let us say this color is majorly dominated by red. So RGB model we are following, the color that we have selected is red. You see that for this particular background there is a specific value of red, right? Whereas if we see this particular portion of the image, same color is used, but here intensity or value is more. So what we are doing, we are restricting ourselves to a basic color, and in the background we are using it a value which is lesser, and in the foreground or for the subject we are adding the color which of the same palette where value is more. So this is giving us a pleasing image, right? Other way also we can do, like in earlier photo we have seen that green is the opposite of magenta. So our subject is of green color. So intentionally what the photographer has done is that in the background he has selected exactly the opposite color, which is magenta. So which is giving us a pleasing experience. So this is not by accident or not by chance. It is the careful selection of the photographer who has done it intentionally. You could have gone for some other color background, but here the photographer shows that he is having proper understanding about the color and he is using it carefully or the way he wanted it to use. Similarly, like blue color is there. What is the exact opposite color of blue? Yellow color is there. So he has added it in a mixed way. Blue color, exactly opposite color, yellow, and some other color which is nearing to it, which is red. So again, it is giving us a very pleasing experience depending upon our understanding of color. One more concept that we have to understand, we have already understand this, is the concept of cool color or warm color. We have discussed this in our class of white balance or color temperature. So when the temperature is more, we get cool color, and when the temperature is less, we get warm color. In photography, there is extensive use of warm and cool color. So what does it mean? See, all these colors like this violet, blue, this green, this portion, these type of colors are known as cool colors. Why? Because their color temperature is high and they are known as cool color, whereas these colors are known as warm color. In photography, in movies, everywhere, advertisement hoarding, or in fashion industry, this concept of cool color and warm color is used like anything. See, this photo is majorly dominated by warm colors, yellow, red, right? So if we see the photo for the first time, so everything, that warm feeling is there. So that is why you can apply a specific color palette accordingly. And majority of the time, warm color is used to express feeling like love and warmth. All these type of feelings, if you are composing in a particular photograph, you can go for warm color. Some more example we will be seeing. See, this is a very popular photo from the movie Bahubali. See, all these colors are red. So we can see the mood, like this war, this blood. So all these expression are better expressed with warm colors. One more example we will be seeing. This is a favorite song called Gerua. I request everyone to see this particular song after the end of this class, right? This is also a wonderful example of warm color. Do not forget to see this song after the end of this color. If you see this particular song, it is the most elegant use of warm color that I have seen in recent time. So we'll have a small assignment on how to use warm color. I'll be posting the assignment in the group. In the reverse way, we'll have these colors, say blue, and that we have seen in the color wheel, which was representing warm and cool color. So this is an example of how cool colors can be used to express the scene, like serenity, like peace, like early morning, right? These type of expressions or scenes are better expressed with cool colors. We can see this, how wonderful this image is looking because of the use of warm color. Let us say in this photo, if we have added something which is warmer in nature, so it would have spoiled the mood that the image is having, right? So another example of what? Cool colors. See how wonderful this image is looking because of the predominant use of cool colors. And again, from the same movie, there is a song called Dhivara. So I want everyone to watch the song after the end of this class. If you see this song, again, this is a wonderful example of how cool colors are used to express emotions which are better expressed with this type of color. So again, another example of cool colors. So we'll have a small assignment on this. We have to post a photo to depict the use of cool colors. And last but not the least, once we have understood what is warm color and what is cool color, and as we have discussed in earlier, that for a specific color, like if we are using red, we can add a bit of opposite color in smaller quantity. So again, that gives us pleasing experience, right? For red, red is warm color, green is cool color. So what the photo has done, majority of the portion is filled with cool color, a very little portion is filled with warm color. So this gives us very pleasing experience. One more photo will be seeing, see, cool color and very small amount of warm color is added. So this is how, if you can take absolute control of what color or what type of color palettes that you are going to use, then the visual experience that a viewer gets from your photo will be excellent. This is also another example of how rule of third can be used as rule of proportion in case of color. Like majority of the portion you are filling with a specific color palette, and a very small portion of the frame you are filling with a color which is completely opposite or complementary in nature. This is how we have to use colors in our photograph. So that was from my side. If from your side any question is there, then I will be taking. Otherwise, I will be posting this assignment in the group. Right? No hand is raised. So I am assuming that there is no specific question that you are having. So what I will do a quick recap of what we have discussed so far. So what we have discussed is that when we are discussing about color, we are basically discussing three parameters. First one is the hue. It is nothing but the definition of a color, a name that is given to a color, like red, like green, like blue. Second thing that we are representing, it's called as a value. So what is a value? Like how much red or how much blue. So it's a amount of relative lightness or darkness assigned to the color with the help of a specific numeric value. And the last thing that we are discussing is the saturation. Saturation is nothing but the purity of color. So if something is added, what we can add? We can add white, let us say. So in case of white, we are getting a lighter version of the color. We are calling is a tint. Other one, if we are adding black, so we are getting a darker variant of the color, and we are calling it a specific shade of the color. What else we can add? We can add something called gray. So in that case, we are getting a specific tone of the color, whether the color will become darker or lighter depending upon that shade of gray that we are adding. The resultant color will be defined like that. If we want to reproduce or regenerate color, we are having two different methods. First one is the additive method, and second one is the subtractive method. So additive method, a specific model like RGB is following additive method, and there is subtractive method followed by model like CMYK. Additive method works on the basis of light as we see it directly. Subtractive method works on the basis of reflection of light. Electronic devices, electronic display, they will be using additive methods, and things which are printed or where we are getting a reflection, for those things subtractive methods are used. Like printers, inkjet printers, they are using subtractive type of model. So what happens in case of additive method is that when we are adding light, we are getting a lighter variant of the color. When we are adding equal amount of color, we are getting white. And when no color is added, what we are getting? We are getting black. Same things is reverse for subtractive type of color. Like no color is there, let us say our wall is there, no color is there, so we are getting white. If we are adding colors more and more, we are getting a darker variant of the color. If we are adding equal colors in equal quantity, then we are getting a color which is called as black, right? So there are something called primary colors, and that varies from color model to color model. For RGB, primary colors are red, green, blue. For CMYK, the colors are cyan, yellow, magenta, and black. We can produce one color from the other by selective mixing. So to produce one color from another color, what is the diagram that is helping us? It is the color wheel. And how we are being sure that we want to select a specific color or we want to reproduce a specific color with a numeric value, right? Like for R, we will have a specific numeric value. For green, we have a specific numeric value. For blue, we are having a specific numeric value. In case of wave representation, we can select a color with a 6-digit number, 2 digits each for red, green, and blue. So these are the mathematical concept. How we can use these concept in producing a photograph which will give us visual excellence is that when we are composing a photo, we can select element of a specific color palette. Like for red, it is only red, and then there is a different shade of red. Or what we can do, we can select a specific color and we can add a little bit of opposite or complementary color. So this is one concept that we can use. There is one more concept called one color or cool color that we have discussed in the chapter white balance or color temperature. So in that case, cool colors can be used for expressing emotions which are soothing or serene in nature, whereas warm color can be used for expressing things like love or things which are warmer in nature, love, marriage, war. So all these things, one color suits better. And for mixing purpose, like the way we use rule of third, so rule of third can be used in the field of color as rule of proportion. So in that, what we can do, we can select color from a specific palette, let us say cool color. So 2/3 or maybe more of the frame will be filled with one color. A very little portion of the frame will be filled from color of the opposite palette, like cool color or from warm color. So this is the way, if we mix our color, then as a viewer, the color experience that we get or the pleasing nature that we get from our photo because of the appropriate use of color will be excellent. So this was from my side. If you find it difficult to understand this concept, what I suggest is that you see this video for 2-3 times, then all the concept will be clear. In case there is any doubt, just come back to me. I will be helping in understanding, right? So if any question is there, you can raise your hand or I will be terminating this class. No question? Bye then. Good night. I will be posting this assignment in the group.